Now, as we do so many weeks here at the Daily Dose, we need to get over to our Daily Dose top 5. Hey, tomorrow is, of course, Thanksgiving, which is a highly underrated holiday. One of my personal favorites, to be honest. Get that turkey, get that ham, the stuffing, the gravy, the, macaroni and cheese ready, and let's all sit on our couch and watch football all day. Honestly, it's a beautiful thing. I love Thanksgiving. However, at this time of year, this is also a time that we take a look back. We have a tradition here at the Dose where we take a look back over the previous year and we pick a few of the biggest turkeys in the world of sports. That's right. Who have been the most underachieving or just in general annoying jerks of sports in 2023? Our Daily Dose Top 5 is counting down the top 5 turkeys of 2023. Let's go ahead and jump in. We start off at number 5, and you know I hate to be a hater, but I'm going to be a little bit of a hater. Look, I was as excited as anyone that Deion Sanders came to Colorado and made college football in my home state at least somewhat interesting. The Buffs started off the year 3-0. Granted, it was against bad competition. But then after that 3-0 start, things changed. Now, maybe it was the holding up of the watch against a bad team in Arizona State. Maybe it was the throwing of both players and coaches under the bus in defeat by Coach Prime himself. Maybe it was the chirping of Colorado fans telling us how much things have changed. Well, let's examine some of those changes, shall we? The Buffs went 1-11 last year under head coach Karl Dorrell. They went 1-8 in the Pac-12. They finished number 64 in recruiting in 2021. They finished number 47 in recruiting last year. They did not qualify for a bowl game. Okay. This year, in the massive changes under Coach Prime, the Buffs will most likely go 4-8 on the season. They will probably finish 1-8 again in conference. They are currently ranked 70th in recruiting, and they will not qualify for a bowl game. That is a whole lot of chatter for not much substance. Look, I didn't expect this program to be rebuilt overnight. It has been decades since it has been down. That would be insane to expect that. But that 3-0 start went to CU's head, and when the losing began, everything came unraveled. We saw blaming. We saw yelling at each other. We saw divisions. We saw players and coaches seem to be kind of on their own agendas. Oh, and by the way, Colorado has one of the most annoying fan bases in the entire country, which is crazy considering they've never won anything. The University of Colorado definitely gets our Turkey of the Year. They come in at number 5. By the way, I'm not a full hater. The Buffs hoops team, I think they're going to be a little bit sneaky this year. Might want to keep an eye on them. But CU in general comes in today on our list at number 5. We move on to number 4, and we head over to the NBA, where we usually have no lack of turkeys whatsoever. Well, we have another one this season. Because Philadelphia 76ers guard James Harden refused to play for the Sixers, despite the fact they were paying him $33 million for the year. He said he didn't like the GM. So like we all do, he said, I'm not going to come to work, and I demand to be traded. And so they traded him. Yeah, that's what we all do. The Sixers sent Harden to the Los Angeles Clippers in a blockbuster trade. Now, are the Clippers a great fit for this? I'm not so sure. That franchise has a history of dysfunction and injuries and failures in the postseason. So does Harden. So that might be a tad sketchy already. But it was the comments made by Harden after that trade that place him on our list today. Upon joining the Clippers, Harden was asked about how he was treated in Philadelphia. His answer was one of the most tone-deaf answers that I have heard lately. He said that the Sixers had kept him on a tight leash and wouldn't let him play his style. But his quote is, "I'm not a system player. I'm a system." You're a system? What system is that? You need to be on Nutrisystem. You are just over 500 in the postseason. You have never even been to the NBA Finals in 16 years. You have a career of completely disappearing in the playoffs, in the biggest games, and you're going to say you're a system? I don't know what system that is, but I don't want it. El Beardo comes in today on our list of sports turkeys at number 4. We move to our number 3 gobbler today, and we go to the world of sports media, where we land at former ESPN, Fox Sports, and Amazon sideline reporter Carissa Thompson. Now, last week, Thompson admitted to fabricating aspects of her sideline reporting. Yeah. She said this. I've said this before, so I haven't been fired for saying it, but I'll say it again. I would make up the report sometimes because A, the coach wouldn't come out at halftime, or it was too late, and I was like, I didn't want to screw up the report, so I was like, I'm just going to make this up. This is what Thompson told a podcast, and she continued. No coach is going to get mad if I make this up. No coach is going to get mad if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting ourselves. We need to be better on third down. We need to stop turning the ball over and do a better job of getting off the field. Now, remember, Thompson began work as an NFL sideline reporter for Fox back in the late 2000s. And when you hear this and you realize she was just making things up, I mean, honestly, this isn't cool. This isn't journalism. And immediately, Carissa Thompson had a firestorm of hate aimed at her. She has no journalistic integrity. CNN, USA Today, ESPN, they all hammered Thompson, saying how despicable this is. Did you hear me? CNN, USA Today, and ESPN hammered someone for journalistic integrity. Wow. Now, last week on Thursday Night Football, we saw Cincinnati Bengals quarterback unable to grip a football. He couldn't pick it up. We actually saw him drop it like he was shocked. And the Amazon sideline reporter said he's questionable to return. Do you really think he was questionable to return? So what I'm asking is, do you really think Carissa Thompson is the only one who lies? The sports media world is absolutely filthy with liars. Don't get all preachy. You're a glass house, sports media. Be careful about throwing rocks. The self-righteous sports media world, today, they're getting our number 3 sports turkey of 2023. We arrive at our number 2 turkey on our list of sports turkeys of the year, and we go to a guy that has a history of success. Yet, it is hard to ignore the job he is doing right now. Hey, you could make a pretty strong case that a guy who has won 8 Super Bowls, 3 NFL Coaches of the Year, and 6 Super Bowl wins as head coach is without a doubt the greatest NFL coach in history. And he still is in that conversation for me. But the job that New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick is doing this year is absolutely brutal. The Patriots are currently 2-8. They rank 22nd in passing yards. They rank 26th in rushing yards. They rank 31st in points scored. They have benched quarterback Mac Jones, who has not gotten any better. Okay, fine. But that's the offense. Bill is a defense guy. The defense is still good, right? Yeah, except it isn't. The Patriots are 19th against the pass. They are allowing nearly 24 points per game, ranking them 23rd defensively in scoring. Okay, well, Bill just doesn't have the talent, and that's the problem. He used to have a bunch of talent. He was really good. Now he doesn't. That's not his fault. Yeah, except that it is. Because remember, he is also the general manager in New England. And he has missed again and again and again in both the draft and in free agency. But what clinches Bill making our list today is that there are now rumors that he is going to go to Washington to try to rebuild that franchise. I mean, I guess, but I'd be real careful about turning those reins over to Belichick at this stage in his career because he has been a huge turkey this year. And honestly, it looks like his team has quit on him. I'm not sure I ever thought I'd see that. Bill Belichick comes in today at number 2. So we arrive at our number 1 turkey of 2023 in the world of sports. And where else can we go? Hail to the victors, kids, as we have had an investigation into alleged sign stealing by staff members of the Michigan Wolverines football team. Think about these things. On November 3rd, Wolverines staffer Connor Stallions, who was at the center of the scandal, resigned. Okay. November 6th, a former employee of a rival Big Ten team linked multiple college football teams in the sign stealing scandal and claimed to the Associated Press that it was his job to steal signs and that he was given details from multiple league schools to compile a spreadsheet of play calling signals used by Michigan. So it's not just Michigan doing it, it's a lot of teams. The employee spoke anonymously and provided documented evidence to back his claim. The same day, Central Michigan University, a Mid-American program, became a party to the investigation against the Wolverines. Evidence suggested potential off-campus scouting violations as a man resembling Stallions was in attendance at a Central Michigan game. That wasn't a Michigan game. It was Central Michigan against Michigan State. On November 7th, a Michigan source alleged to The Athletic that Ohio State, Rutgers, and Purdue had stolen their signals and shared them as well. On November 10th, the scandal led to Wolverines head coach Jim Harbaugh being suspended for the final 3 games of this season, starting with the Wolverines game against Penn State back on the 11th of November. This past Friday, Harbaugh decided to cancel a planned court hearing and accept his 3-game suspension. On Saturday, linebackers coach Chris Partridge was fired for allegedly attempting to destroy evidence relating to the sign stealing. Okay, this all feels kind of like the Patriots and Deflategate, right? Is this the biggest scandal ever? No, probably not even close. Does sign stealing give you an advantage? I would assume. Or why would you do it? You wouldn't waste your time. Everyone can say, well, the Houston Astros didn't really benefit from the garbage can banging. Well, then why would you do it if you didn't benefit? So I would say that it does probably help you. I would also say that everyone is probably doing it. But here's the thing. This award isn't even about that. This is more the stupidity and the obnoxiousness of the Michigan faithful. Do you realize there were candlelight vigils this past weekend for Harbaugh? He didn't die. He cheated. He got caught and he got suspended. We are now hearing people say, hey, Michigan is America's team. For cheating? No, I don't think so. And they also tell us that now it is Michigan against the world. I mean, spin it however you want. I don't really care. But again, the fact is, you cheated, you got caught, and you tried to cover it up. Slow down on how you're being persecuted. And you know the worst part about all this? Once again, it is the adults screwing things up for the kids. Hey, what J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum and the rest of that football team are doing on the field is highly impressive. And it's kind of getting overlooked. And for that reason, the Michigan Wolverines are your number 1 turkey of 2023. because they have been so obnoxious through this entire process. Okay, YouTube, make sure you go over and you check out the rest of the podcast because this week we talk a little news. We discuss some of the things that we are thankful for, and we even take a brief look into the world of college basketball. Who are the teams to watch? Who are the teams that could bust up some brackets this spring? So if you want to start prepping a little bit, at least having an introduction to college hoops, make sure you go over and check out the full podcast. I will leave a link here in the comments on YouTube for you. Hope you all are doing well. I will see you all next Wednesday. Have a great week and have a very safe and a very happy Thanksgiving.